Looks like the eyeballs are growing. Hello everybody, and happy Crafty Hour. I don't know why, but my account is locked, so I had to switch over to Ken's account to get it going. I'm not sure what is going on, but it looks like we are up now, and I can see comments. So we're gonna rock and roll, guys. So welcome to Crafty Hour 83. I hope you guys got a chance to tune in and see Clipper Street's presentation. And I know she did a shaker card too. So we're going to have another shaker card because this collection, excuse me, had those fun Ghibli bits and stuff in it. So it just kind of screamed, make a shaker card out of me. So I'm going to give it a moment so people can find this. Like I said, my Facebook account was acting up, but it looks like you guys are there. I'm going to get a drink of water really quick and I'll be right back. All right, hello. So this kit was a really fun kit to kind of play with and create. So we're going to do a shaker card using little bits and pieces in there. And then also there were ink pads in this set. So we are going to use those to kind of make some fun inky backgrounds. So a little bit of different styles. So your homework was to cut out some fish. The dies in the set matched and coordinated with that paper collection, which I think was fabulous. And you guys were able to die cut all those out. So we're going to start with a shaker card. In your paper pack, you're going to look for the piece of paper like this. Originally, when I was kind of playing with this card and designing, I almost did a circle, like a porthole, like you were looking out of the boat into the water. But the circle just didn't show enough stuff that I wanted to see. So I ended up changing it into a rectangle piece because I did want to see more of that. I know, right? It's a shaker kind of day. That whole kit just screams, make a shaker card out of me. So we're going to do card number 2 first. So this is a standard A2 card is what we're going to go with. We've got our standard 4 1/4 by 5.5 card base. I always keep a stack of these card bases on hand, already cut and scored, because it's a standard size and I use it all the time. So we're going to just do a standard size. We're going to grab that piece of paper. And the piece I want is going to be down here. I kind of want the ocean part and the little seaweed. So that's the portion that we're going to be using. And we're going to cut it at 4 1/4, which is a standard card size. Card size. Okay, so 4 1/4. And then we're going to flip it and do 5.5. And we're going to cut the sky off. We're cutting the clouds and the sky off. Okay, so there is our standard piece of paper. Easy peasy. And then we've got our standard card base, and we're just going to glue that on. Nothing complicated, nothing hard. Looks like I didn't cut mine exact, but I'll just shave off that white portion. So it is going to go all the way to the edge. So side to side, top to bottom on your card, and we're going to put that whole piece down. Okay, and then if you have any hangover like I do, we'll just snip that off. Now sometimes, even though we measure twice, different rulers or different links, I'm just going to cut off that little extra there. There we go. And then make sure your card opens on the side. That's always a fun challenge for us. Okay, so next we're going to make it a shaker card. So in your card stock pack, there's this really pretty dark blue, and I thought that matched really nice. I thought black matched really nice with it too. But the blue was in your kit. So we're going to cut that 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And mine's already been cut on because I already made one card out of it. So I'm just going off of my scraps. but we're gonna go to 4 1/8. So that is right there. And then we're gonna flip it and do 5 3/8. 5, 1, 2, 3, 5 3/8, which looks like it's pretty much there. Let's make sure it fits on here. I'm gonna cut a hair off the bottom, but I'm gonna use my other trimmer because my guillotine is better at shaving off a hair than my other guy, because sometimes it bunches it up when you want just a hair. So we're gonna see how that looks. You wanna have a little bit of that pretty blue background showing all the way around the outside edge, and that looks fabulous. So the next thing we need to do is cut our window out. We gotta cut this window out. So I said grab any nesting die that you have. I am in love with this Crafters Home Exclusives that we designed, and it has the deckled edge with the stitching on it. So the one I used, these are perfectly sized for A2 cards, so they're gonna work great for this project. I'm gonna use the second one in off of that set. So that is the Crafters Home Exclusive deckled edge with the stitching on it. Okay, and then we're just gonna cut the center out of that, guys. We're just gonna put it on our machine, flip the die over, and we are just going, and I like to put mine at an angle, because then that way you get a better cut and it avoids that speed bump that we all get. And I'm just gonna center it, and we're gonna cut that edge. Now, if you don't have the decal, that's okay. Use a straight edge, use a scallop edge, use whatever you got, guys. And we're gonna cut that center out, and we're gonna use both of these pieces. We're gonna use both. So on the inside is where I put that beautiful deckled, because it's a beautiful die cut. It's gonna match and coordinate, so we're just gonna go ahead and glue that on the inside, and then that gives us a great little journaling spot, and then that beautiful piece that we cut out doesn't go to waste. Look, we're so crafty, we can decorate the inside and the outside at the same time. And look at how nicely that frames and fits on the A2 card. Isn't that beautiful? Stunning, okay? All right, so there we have our frame. Now we're gonna need our piece of acetate. And in your homework was have a piece of acetate. And the acetate fits inside of this frame. So it is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8-ish. You just want it to fit right inside of that frame. Okay, and I'm gonna shave mine down just a little bit. If it's the exact size, then sometimes you end up, if you're not perfect in lining it up, it kind of hangs over a little bit. So I just want to make sure it fits right inside of there. Perfect, just like that. Perfect. Okay, so then we're going to take our score tape, and we're going to go all the way around the outside edge of it. Okay, we're going all the way around the outside edge. And we're just going to rub that score tape down. And oh, I'm going to have to grab this. I broke my fingernail today, so I don't have my little, use our little pokey tool. Okay, how are we doing? Are we good? Okay, then we're going to put our piece of acetate on. I'm wondering if other people's Facebooks are not working right now either, because it looks like our eyeballs are kind of low for today. Wondering if it gave me an error 500 message, which I kind of freaked out. But then when I logged into Ken's account, it worked. So I don't know. So there's our shaker window. Okay, there's our shaker. Then we're going to flip it over and put the foam tape on the back of it just to kind of pop it up. The foam tape I like is these strips by 3L Scrapbook Adhesive. They are the perfect height for shaker cards. And they're in strips, so you can just lay them on there just like that, quick and easy. Oh, Rhonda says it's kicking her out too. Okay, so Facebook is acting up. Well, good thing, well, hopefully, it records this, and then we'll just post the video on our YouTube so you guys can go over there and find it. So hopefully it posts this. Okay, there we go. So there's our shaker window. So then what we want to do, and I kind of can show you on my card, I kind of put things on the inside and I put things on the outside too, because I wanted the fish to kind of be, well, I wanted things in the window and things out the window. So I love this grass and seaweed. This was kind of my favorite thing in the whole set. Now, I did put stickles on this one, and I put stickles on here. I'm not going to do it this time because it won't dry fast enough for me. I should have stickled it before the video, but that's where we're kind of going. When you put these pieces on the inside of the shaker, you want to make sure everything is glued down nice and flat. That way your little Ghibli bits and shaker parts don't get hung up on them. So just make sure they're good and flat. And we're going to put our little seaweed there. And you guys can do any of the fishes that you want. There are so many cute, adorable fish and critters in this set. I thought it was so adorable. I loved them. Okay, so then I'm going to use a crab. There's two different crabs. There's a baby crab and there's a big crab. We're going to do the little baby crab on the inside. We're just going to kind of overlap him there, kind of on the rocks and the seaweed. Okay, and we're just going to stick him down. So that's pretty much everything I glued on the inside. That's my insides. Then we're going to take the, oh, I just love this fabulous sequin mix. This was so fun. We're going to take that and sprinkle her on. Ooh, that's a lot. Okay. And then I always kind of take and flatten it out a little bit, just in case if it's too bulky when you put your topper on it, sometimes they get stuck. So I just kind of spread them out. Okay, then we will peel off our backers and put our acetate window on. How are we doing? We're doing good on time, aren't we? Hey, Ken, yeah. Can you bring me some paper towels? My magical hands.
Like a roll or just a sheet?
Just bring me the roll in case I need more. better to have too many than not enough. Okay, so there's all of our peelies, and we're going to center that on, and I'm going to kind of try to look above it because you're going to center it and have that pretty patterned paper. I just love the ombre effect. And see, one of my sequins stood up. Uh-oh. One of my sequins got stuck upward. Did I not take the sticky off that side? I did. There we go. There we go. It got unstuck. Got static electricity. Okay, so there is our shaker portion. And are those not fun? Those are so much fun. Okay, so let me pick up all these guys. Something else that's really cute, and I did it on one of the cards, is I glued these on in front of the little fishies, and it made them look like little fish bubbles. So I had those on one of my cards too. This is like watching paint dry, me trying to get these off this mat, isn't it? They stick to the silicone. Okay, there we go. So there's that piece. And then I just kind of went in and clustered some more of these seaweeds. I really like the seaweed. That was kind of, I think, my favorite thing in the kit was the seaweed. I need more seaweed. Okay, so we're just going to kind of glue that on the corner. And on my original, I'm going to bump it upside down. I did have a starfish down here kind of peekabooing in the corner, but once all the shaker bits were in there, you couldn't see it anyways. So I kind of omitted it from this card. Okay, then we're going to go in with a little crab. This is the bigger crab. Isn't he adorable? It was hard for me to pick a favorite in here. I did pick a favorite fish though. Okay, so we're going to put our little crab in there. And I like to hang things off the side of the card because, well, I just do. Then we're going to go in with a starfish. And kind of glue him down to the corner. And then I wanted to pop some pieces. I kind of wanted to do a little bit more layers. So I have this little blue starfish. And we're going to put him on an itty bitty little square. And again, this is scrapbook adhesives. This is what they call their micros. They're micro squares. We're going to put that on there. And just pop that on. Isn't that fun? Okay, then we're going to have 2 more seaweeds, and I kind of layered those over here. So we're going to put one kind of up. And then the next one we're going to bring down and just kind of overlap it a little bit. And I just kind of tuckied them in and brought them down. And it takes just a little bit for that liquid adhesive to kind of dry on that acetate before it's wiggly. I took a seashell and we're going to pop that one. So I'm going to put a pop on the back of that one. I'm going to go a little bit bigger with my foam. And we'll just pop that in the corner. I don't know what I would do without my tweezers. They're like a second pair of hands for me, my little reverse tweezers. I love them. Okay, so there we got that so far. Now the sentiment I put on here, I stamped from the stamp set. So if you want to stamp one from the stamp set, you can do that. There is all the little cut aparts that are also in there. So you can use any of these. You are mermazing, high tides, and good vibes. So any of those you can use, or I'm going to use this one because it's already done. Or I just stamped it on white paper and then you can mat it. That is an option too. Just kind of cutting mine down a little bit. I hope you guys really like this kit. There is a lot in here. There's a lot of fun, different things to play with, and it's kind of a fabulous set. Okay, so we've got high tides and good vibes. I'm just going to glue that flat. You could, of course, pop it if you want. This little squid, I just thought is so adorable. How cute is that little squid? So I definitely wanted to include him. I think it's the lengthy arms that gets me. It's just so cute. Okay, so we're just gonna kind of overlap him on that. Like he's hugging the sentiment. Okay, and then let me set something on there for a moment to let that dry. We are working on the acetate, so it takes a little bit longer for it to dry. So let me just put a weight on there. And then this is my favorite fish from the whole group. This was my favorite one. I thought this little fat roundy fish, he was adorable. We're gonna put a pop on the back of him. We're gonna pop him too. I'm gonna go just a little bit bigger than a micro. We'll go this square. One size adhesive, it does not work for all. I have numerous sides of adhesives. Okay, so we are going to peel and stick him down. Like he is swimming across the card. And then we're gonna put a little fish in there. I got this little kind of red looking one. Again, use whatever fish you guys want. There is a lot of fishies in this set. So adorable. And I'm just gonna peekaboo him kind of there. Like he's a little school of fish and he is swimming by. Little fish. Okay, and then to finish the inside, I went in and I matted a piece of white paper in there, add another sentiment, and then I added another cute little squid because I thought he was adorable too. And that's all just scrap papers. Let's see, let me measure the insert. So it is going to be 3 by 4 1/4. 3 by 4 1/4 for that piece. That. I got a scrap piece of paper here that'll work. So we got 4 1/4 by 3. Whoops. That one shifted. Oh, shift. That one shifted on me. Okay, so then we'll just mat that on the inside of that blue. And that gives you your sentiment spot. And I think I'll go with the "You Are Mermazing." And let's find another squid. Here's another squid. I think that'll fit perfect right there. Isn't he cute? My goodness, he's so cute. Just kind of peekaboo in there. You could also, if you want this to be a gift card holder, you could just put glue on the edges and leave the center where you can slide a gift card or something in there. And there we go. So the last thing I did, and I'm not going to do it right now because I will put my hand in it, guaranteed. I just went in and added stickles. The ones I did was eucalyptus, and I added the green, the crystal, the icicle. I mean, any color works, guys. Use whatever you have. But I just added a little stickles so that gives you a different look. And that's card number 1. How are you doing, guys? Doing good? All right. Okay. I'm going to clean my mat off here just a little bit because we are going to be doing some inking, and I want to make sure there's no residue of colors or adhesives on my mat. So let me move my little fishies, and I'm just going to take and spray a little bit of water. So I'm working on a silicone mat. This is the Graphic 45 one that I absolutely love. It's a nice large size, and nothing sticks to it. So you can just wipe it off. You can work directly on it. The glue won't stick to it, so nothing sticks to this mat. So I absolutely love my silicone mat. So you're going to clean your mat off. And what we're going to do is, and I have 2 different versions. You can do the blue, you can do the pink, whatever color you want. But here's the next card we're going to make. So we're going to make that fun inky background. So for homework, I did say have a piece of watercolor cardstock, and your watercolor cardstock is 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, 4 by 5 1/4. And what we're going to do, you can do the let's see, we have, what is this one called? Emerald. You can do the emerald one. I kind of like that these stack inside of each other. Or you can do the salmon. Either one will work. Okay, so what we're going to need, I'm going to I think my phone's charged enough. I'm going to unplug my phone because I am going to grab a heat tool so you don't have to watch paint dry. So let me grab my heat tool. And so these inks are dye-based inks. So that means they're easy cleanup, they're water-based, so you can do all the fun inky techniques and stuff with them because they're water-based. And so I'm just going to take and just twist. Can you see that? Twist, twist, twist. I'm just putting some ink down and making it mushy. Now, don't use these 2 colors together because they do make mud. There is a way to kind of layer the colors on top of them later, which is kind of what I did there. Is the top layer, I did what we're doing right now, or sorry, the bottom layer, and then the top layer, I went in with my stencil and a blending tool and added the coral on top of it. If you get those 2 colors going together, that's how you start getting mud. And it's a whole color theory thing. And Jeanette is teaching a color theory class for us coming up, which is going to be fabulous. And she's going to tell you how not to make mud. Okay, so we're adding quite a bit of water to this. I want it to be pretty soppy for these first couple layers. All we're going to do is lay it in and mush it, and then we are going to lift and dry. And I just blobbed onto my seashell, but that's okay. So we're going to lift and dry. It's not going to look like there's a lot of color on there right now, but that's okay because you're going to keep adding layers. So what we want to do is start with the lightest possible layer, and then you can go and add more and more and more color to it. So we want to start very, very light. And the key is to kind of dry in between each layer. And that is going to kind of lock in the color a little bit. Now, they are water-based. They are dye-based inks. So they're always going to reactivate with water every time too, though. And then I always heat it from both sides. If your paper starts to curl, just hit it from the other side and kind of dry it. Okay, and now we want more color. So I'm just going to go in and press in that big blob, and I'm gonna flip it and do the same thing. Flip and dry. And now you can see we're starting to build up some of those colors, and we're starting to get different colors. Now, different watercolor papers will react differently. No two watercolor papers are kind of the same. So some are cold press, some is heat press, some is smooth, some is textured. So every kind of watercolor paper is going to give you a different look. And then as you start to get that, you can just go in and tap it in a couple spots like that. See? I just tapped it very lightly and picked up some color. So the first 2 layers, I usually mush the whole thing because I want a lot of all over coverage, but I still want some white space too. You do want to embrace kind of your white space. Okay, and then we're just going to kind of keep building color that way. And we're just going to keep tapping it and tapping it. Now, the first layer that we did, remember we added a lot of water to that. If you feel like yours, once you start getting these layers, if you feel like yours doesn't have enough color to it, add some more to your mat, and then just very lightly, and I'll do it here, add some more color to your mat. And then maybe just give it a little squirt. So now you see we have little water droplets instead of big puddles. And that will have it more intense for your colors. Okay? And see how we got more intense colors on there? Because it is not as watered down. It's not as saturated. And you can just keep tapping and going in and adding as much or as little color as you want. And you know, this is something that I could do all day. I just love to make backgrounds. Sometimes what I'll do is just make a pile of backgrounds. And then I'll have them in my little bin. And when I need a background or I need something, I'll just go fish in that or fish out and get it, haha, fish. I'll just pull out some backgrounds. And maybe sometimes I use them as a background. Maybe sometimes I use stamps. These would be cute to stamp because we have the stamps and dies in this kit to stamp the fish out with. It would be cute to die cut stuff, die cut some butterflies, die cut images. I love inky backgrounds because you can do so much with them. I think I'm going to tap in one more time and we're going to call it, but I'm really liking what I have there so far. But I hate to waste all this ink. It's on the table. So I'm just going to tap it a little bit more. Oh, love it. And we're calling it. We're going to dry it. And I'm just going to clean my mat off here. And the reason we can do this technique, like I said, is these are dye-based inks. So they have a water base to them. They will always activate with water, so you can do these fun kind of inky techniques to them. You can also just stamp with them if you want. Stamp your sentiments, stamp your fish, whatever you have. This one here is the sentiment that I did stamp with that coral color. And I love this one. It's in here, the cobble slate, because sometimes to me, black is too black. It's just too dark. So this is a really nice light gray that I thought was stunning. Okay, it's all curvy, and I'm trying to flatten it. A trick to flatten these is to run them through your die cutting machine. So I just have my regular sandwich, my regular layers, and I'm just going to kind of squish it down. Diane Revley would say to put it in your bum oven, which is sit on it, because your bum is nice and warm, and it'll flat, and it has weight. and it will flatten it out for you. But there we go. Isn't that stunning? Ooh, I like this one. Really like that. Isn't that fun? Okay, so that's our background, guys. That's it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a standard card base again. So our 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. We're going to grab, and it depends on if you did the teal one or the pink one. If you did the teal one, you're going to grab that ombre. I love this glitter. It's what I call a sand glitter. It doesn't shed, and it is stunning, and it die cuts beautifully. So if you did the teal one, you're going to grab this. If you did the pink version or the coral version, you're going to grab that Miri. Okay, so grab whichever one you use, and we're going to cut this down. We're going to cut it, glitter, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Okay, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Sometimes I even save these because that is just gorgeous and you need a little strip on something. Yes. Okay, so we're going to see, you're going to have a little bit of white all the way around the outside edge of it. Okay, and we're going to gut this. So whatever background you use, you're going to use your Just Keep Swimming, and you're going to die cut that out. The Just Keep Swimming. As you can see, I already cut out this one because when I did my original card, I glued it down already, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I want that for my sentiment. So I cut it out of my second piece of paper. So yours won't have 2 in it. It's one of those, oh crud, I want to do that. And I went to go peel it up, and no, I used the good glue. So it was not coming up. And we're going to cover this with our watercolor paper. So why not cut out the center of that and gut that beautiful cardstock? And if you have a little problem with, I'm going to have to do mine again. Sometimes with the glitter papers and these specialty papers, they don't like the self-healing mats. They're too squishy. So I need to put in 2 cutting plates instead of my self-healing. Sometimes they don't like that self-healing. So if you're not getting yours to cut all the way through, that might be the issue. Just put in 2 of your clear mats and take that self-healing mat out. It's something about, it just needs to make a better, there we go. It just needs to make a better contact. Okay, so we're going to punch that out. I just love this paper. Isn't that stunning? First of all, it's my color. And then second of all, oh, it's just a beautiful glitter. Trying not to rip that little E. Little E. Okay. All right, so now we're going to glue our glitter down. Make sure I got my little glue burger cleaned off. We're going to glue the glitter down. And for those of you in the US that we've been waiting for the Helmar 450 to come, our new adhesive, we're told should be here, I'm going to say April. They said possibly into March, but I'm not holding my breath. We're going to say April. April-ish. Or maybe he said April, May. I remember there was an M word in there. But it's coming. It's coming, guys. I put in a huge order, and we should have that shortly. Because I am about out of my 450. I know we've all been using it very sparingly. Okay. All right, so then we're going to take our watercolor and we're going to glue that right on top. And I want to make sure I have a little bit of that turquoise all the way around. I can't wait to see which version you guys did, because there's different, and of course you could do a black and white version too, or the gray version, grayscale. Absolutely do that too. I can't wait to see what you do. There's just so much stuff in this kit. One thing I would not suggest doing, so I put my glue on mine, and then I thought, oh, I'll stick it down so it sticks really good, and I'll run it through my Big Shot, and that'll flatten it good and stick it. Don't do that. I did it, and I had glue squirting out of the edges, and I had glue all over my cutting mats. It is too much force. It is too much pressure. Do not run it through your die cutting machine to glue it down. I was trying to be lazy, and I made a god-awful mess. Nothing like a little undo. Okay, so now we're going to glue that down. How cool does the inky background look with that paper too? Is that not stunning? Oh, love it. Love, love, love. Okay, so the next thing we're going to need too, in the kit, I love, this is one of my favorite things to do with sentiments, is to have the shadow piece in vellum. I love putting the shadow piece in vellum because sometimes it needs that shadow, but you don't necessarily want a color or something there. You just need a little something, something. So there was vellum in this kit too, guys. So we're going to cut out the Just Keep Swimming, and then here's another version I did with white. I also did it on the pink. So you're going to do it on vellum. We're going to cut out the shadow part on vellum. Okay, there's my vellum, my thing on my magnet. All right, where'd my glitter go? There it is. Okay, now I do need to take our pokey tool and kind of poke out the trash. Seems like a waste of pretty glitter paper, doesn't it? And all the papers that were in this kit are by Tonic in Craft Perfect. So they are available in packs of just that color. I think they come 5 in a pack, which most of you I think have purchased them from us. They have the glitter packs, they have the mirror packs, they have the ombre packs, they have the satin finishes, the gloss finishes. So kind of all these specialty papers that you guys got in this pack does come in the packs of 5. And they're super affordable too. For a specialty. And I just love how intricate this this sentiment is, and that it die cuts beautifully with that glitter. Just die cuts beautifully. Okay, let me find my tweezers, and we're going to put some glue on this, and then we are just going to glue it to that vellum. This is where you gotta hold your mouth and your eyes just perfect. This is where I feel like I don't want to admit my eyesight's not what it used to be. But sometimes you're like, ooh, I can't see that. Okay. There we go. And we have Just Keep Swimming. Just going to stick that down. Let it dry. I'm using the Nuvo, so it does squeeze out a little bit when I got a little carried away, but it dries clear, so I'm not going to worry about that. We're all good with that. Now, another little hint or little trick that I like to do is I want to pop this sentiment up. But if you put pop dots on the back of it, you're going to be able to see the pop dots. So what I use is, oh, let me put my machine in. These foam sheets from Spellbinders. Spellbinders has these foam sheets that they have them in black, they have them in white, they have them in some different colors. They even have them in glitter, the glitter foam sheets. And I like to die cut and pop my piece. Now, scrapbook adhesive does have foam sheets that already have adhesive on the back of them that you can do also. I do find it a little tricky though to try to line up something sticky foam with sticky foam. I find it easier to do it this way and use liquid adhesive, because then if it's not lined up perfectly, it gives me that wiggle room that I need. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute once I get this cleaned out. But this is going to work as like a spacer. If you don't have this foam, that's okay. What you can do is what I did on this one, and I did it on the front side, and you can kind of see it's popped. I die cut that out 3 times with white cardstock and layered them on top of each other. So you can do that too on top of it if you want your image raised up. Or if you want that vellum piece raised up, so you want it popped from the bottom, you can die cut your paper 3 times and then just put those pieces on the back side instead of the front side. And this foam does die cut beautifully. Also, as you can see with the thin dies, because those are pretty thin sentiments that we cut out. I know, right? Some days it's just the little hints and tricks. It's the little things that you're like, ooh, why didn't I think of that? Oops, I poked my finger. The tape gun bit me today. Took a chunk out of my hand. Things are vicious. So there's my letters. I'm just going to kind of fluff it a little bit because it does kind of need a little shaping back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my liquid. How are we doing on time? Oh, we are doing perfect. I'm going to put my liquid on the back side, so I am tracing what I see in white. So I'm not going all willy-nilly because it will still show through the vellum. And I don't want glue tracks. Oops, I got a little carried away there. But what I'm trying to do is just trace the white portion of it kind of quickly. And then I'm going to stick this to the top of the white foam. And the nice thing about the white foam too, you could offset it. So go kind of down and to the right a little bit, and you can offset it, and that will give you a cool white nesting shadow. Or you can line it up perfect, which is what I'm going to do. And I find it easier that once you get it on to flip it over, and because it's liquid, you can push it and maneuver it to make sure it is lined up. I find with the foam adhesive that already has the sticky on it, you can't do it. It grabs it and it's down. You can't, there's no wiggle room. So with the liquid adhesive, I can move it and make sure it's lined up and doesn't have that shadow. And now you can see it's got some 3D to it. It is popped up. Okay, so we're going to grab our card, and we're going to add glue to this one more time. I'm definitely challenging the gluing techniques. That's where I love my sweet petunia. Love this thing, this little needle tip. I don't know where it had been all my life. But we're going to put some liquid adhesive on here. And then we're going to glue this down to the cardstock. Or our card front, our inky fun background that we've done. Okay, so that's on there. We're just going to kind of put her right in the center and glue her on. And now we've got it raised. We've got our vellum sentiment popped up. Okay, and then we're going to look for some fishies. Any kind of fishies that you want. We're just going to put, I'll put my card in here so you can see what I'm doing. So here's one version I did with the little fishies. So these two I popped, these guys I put flat, so it just looks like they're swimming across the card. And then this one I put the fishies, and again, I love that octopus, but this time I flipped them over. The back side is white. So I thought it was really pretty to kind of just have black and white fish. I thought that was fun. So there's another version that you can do too. There's no right or wrong to your fishies. And then, like I said, I can't wait to see what you guys come up with, because then after I did the black and white fishies, I was like, ooh, it would be pretty to do a whole grayscale one with the black and white fish, or do a grayscale background and then put, I'm looking for a bigger fish. There we go. Then put colored fish on a gray background. So that would be cute too. There's so many fish in here. There are so many fish in the sea. Okay, so we'll just put a fish up above. I know, I love these little baby fish. They are so stinking adorable. They're just so cute. And I was very surprised when I was when I was die cutting them, I'm like, there's no die that's going to fit that. And lo and behold, there was itty bitty little dies that match those guys. I love them. Aren't they adorable? Okay, we're just kind of doing a little school of fish. And then I'll show you one thing I kind of did, and then I ended up taking it off, and I'll tell you why I took it off, because it's kind of a funny story. But so there's the fish. So on my original card, what I was doing is I loved these little sequins. I thought, oh, these sequins are so much fun, and I love to sprinkle my sequins. So I had them like 1, 2, 3, and I thought, oh, it looks like the fish bubbles, like the fish is breathing. And then I'm like, well, if I have them up there, I tried putting some here, and maybe I leave them there because 1, 2, 3, we got little fishes. But to me, whenever I do something across the card, I felt like whatever's in the top left needs to be in the top bottom. So I put them down here just to kind of keep the trail going. And then I was like, no, it looks like my fish farted. So I took them off. But you do you. If you want bubbles on yours and you want them going, but I couldn't look past that it looked like the fish tooted on there. So anyways, that is Crafty Hour number 83, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in with me and crafting along. I cannot wait to see what version you guys did or what color combinations you came up with. So make sure you're part of Crafty Hour Creations, which is our private Facebook group. And that's where you guys can post your creations and your versions that you made, because there is so much more in this kit that we cannot wait to see what you guys came up with. The next Crafty Hour, Crafty number 85, will be revealed tomorrow at 11 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Pacific, and we do have the kits in stock, and they are ready to go now, which also means quantities are limited. So make sure to tune in tomorrow for the live reveal. We will be plugging the links so you guys can register for those. Have a fabulous night, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.